welcome to the Backwoods Gourmet. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple venison stew right at camp in your Dutch oven, so stay tuned. So let's be honest right now, I don't deer hunt much. I go a couple times a year. My brother, however, that's his thing. He had a really super day a couple weekends ago. Got 2 giant bucks in the same afternoon, and today we're going to be able to enjoy the fruits of his efforts. Alright, so here's the ingredients real quick. This is the meat from the neck roast, and it makes really good stew. Okay, you just got to get in there and get all that silver skin, connective tissues, all that tough stuff out of it, and that's what we've done with all this. That's about maybe a pound, a little more than a pound for this dish. You can multiply this as many times as you want, depending on how much you want to make at one time. All right, but that is neck roast with all the silver skin and all the connective tissues cut out. Now, I did leave any pieces of fat that I found in there, and believe me, one of those here you got was a monster. It was fat, it's crazy. It was just crazy. All right, so there's your venison cut into small pieces. Okay, I think that's important for this. Makes it more tender. All right, I got some chopped bacon. I got some flour. That amount's not important. I got my favorite, just salt, pepper, garlic blend. Use whatever you like. Okay, there is a bunch of great seasonings out there, but use the one you like. Salt, pepper, and garlic. We're going to be bringing in some other flavors and herbs later. So this is just for the braise portion of this deer, and then that's the first thing we're going to do. We got some water. I've got some Worcestershire sauce. I got some beef broth. This is bone broth, and a little bit of red wine. We're going to have to gourmet it up a little bit. So this part here is going to be the braise, first part to making simple venison stew. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do in preparation for this is we're going to give that a good dose. And remember, this is all getting diluted in the final dish, so don't be skimpy on this. A good amount of seasoning on it, and we're going to just mix that around. Make sure it's all touching. Oh, it smells awesome already. And we'll just let it hang out for maybe about 10 minutes. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get the Dutch oven started. So we've had this 12-inch over here sitting on the coals for a little bit, getting warmed up. Got a little bit of smoking going on in there, and that's good. I'm going to go ahead, dump in all of our bacon. Go ahead, let that start rendering. Hopefully that's going to create a nice fond and a little bit of oil for us, and we may have to put a little bit more oil depending on how lean your bacon is. So let that hang out in the seasoning for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle flour over it, and we're going to dredge them. I'm just going to get in there on my hands, toss them around. It's the best way to do it. And if you're guys that hunt and camp don't like you touching the food with your hands, then tell them don't eat it. Well, save more for all you people that don't like to whine about it. So lightly dredging flour. I'm going to go ahead, brown them off in the Dutch oven. So I can see that our bacon doesn't have enough oil to brown these. So I'm going in with a little olive oil. Use what you got. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle all my pieces around. We're probably going to have to start some more charcoal. We wanted to do this on the campfire today. It's been raining all day. It's going to make it pretty tough. It's hard enough with the humidity just to run charcoal, so we're running some lump under there. It's doing okay so far. So what we want to do now is just brown all the pieces. So they browned up pretty nice. Next thing we're going to do, start the braise. Start some more charcoal. Go to the side over here. Be more like your campfire at camp. Wish we could have one, but this is next best thing. All right, first thing going in, water. Good hit of the beef broth. Give it some richness, as well as a couple tablespoons of Worcestershire, about a half cup of red wine. What we want to do now is just let that come back up to a boil and slowly stir it. Now, the other thing I'm going to do too, just because I got it, I'm going to throw 2 buds of rosemary in there. We got them plants growing right over there, just a few steps away. I'll let it come up to a bubble and we'll stir it one more time. Alright, so we got her up to a good bubble. So what we're going to do now is just going to get our heat control set up. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for a second. We're going to take these coals and push them out to the edges, maybe leaving 1 or 2 good lit ones in the middle. But most of these we're going to push out to the edges. Alright, we'll go ahead and bring the Dutch oven back. With most of those coals out to the sides. Then what we're going to do, I'm going to put that lid on it, and that's going to capture your moisture. We'll let it simmer for about 45 minutes, and we'll check on it every once in a while. So as that bottom heat starts to gentle down, I'm going to go ahead, add some on the top. Kind of spread them out around the edge. And as long as you're keeping your campfire going, you'll have plenty of coals for this. Since we're not really baking anything, just kind of get them on there. Be good to go. Alright, so this has been one of those rare occasions. I just can't get this lump charcoal to roll. It just goes out after it's lit. So right now I put it back in the chimney starter. I got the chimney starter going again. Put the Dutch oven on top. These do fit. The legs kind of hug the chimney starter. Please, if you're going to try this, it's risky. Make sure you have your chimney starter on solid ground before you try this. And then everything you do here has got to be very careful. Right now, we're going to go in and just check our meat. And you see it's kind of shaky because that Dutch oven table is not the flattest thing in the world. I'm checking my meat and still not there. We want this to be break apart tender before we start putting in the veg. So I'm gonna go ahead, put the lid back on her and give her a little more time. Now that we got enough fire to get it back up to simmer. It's been about 15 minutes or so since we put it up on the charcoal chimney. It's been simmering along real nice. I'm gonna have to watch and keep it from getting too hot down there. Some concentrated heat. And maybe starting to get tender. We got about 10 minutes for the veg, so I don't want to get crazy with it, but I do want to go ahead and put a little more liquid in it. We'll cook for another 15 minutes. So this system is actually saving a day here on top of the chimney starter. It's concentrating that heat. In goes all our veg, and that's pretty cold, so it's gonna take out a little minute to come back up. But we don't want to overcook the veg, so I'm gonna get it all in there. We only want this to go about 10 or 15 minutes. The lid back on. Cooking on top of the chimney starter. Who would have thought that the Backwoods Gourmet would be doing this? But current weather conditions, you gotta adapt and overcome. So everything's cooking really nicely now and thickening up really good. Going in, checking the potatoes. Potatoes are really close to being done, but not quite. Just gonna let her simmer just a little longer. A couple more minutes. Be time to eat.
Now that's some kind of deer stew. Yum. As you can tell, I love to eat.
So overall, the biggest ingredient you're going to need to do this deer stew like we did it today is time. Time and a good fire with a bunch of coals, and keep that heat up to get that nice simmer going on for a long period of time. Okay, so this is not something you're going to make in 15 minutes, but I guarantee you, if you spend the time to make it like we did today, you and everybody at your deer camp are going to love it. So if you like what we're doing, please smash that like button right down there. To subscribe to our channel, you can do right there. For a whole playlist of cast iron and Dutch oven cooking, it's going to be right over there. And then for another playlist of cooking wild game outdoors, it'll be right up there. We'll see you next time.